standards as well. So that's a project I'm real proud of. And then lastly, I just joined the Professional Standards Committee. We just had our first meeting the other day, as you know. And although we just kind of had the brainstorming session to get started, I think that is a committee that I will be able to do some good work on, and I look forward to working on that. And I think that I'm one of the people in this department that has always held myself to a high standard, and I look forward to being a part of the team that helps create the guidelines that we're looking to have for our department in writing, having our culture be clearly defined, having some clear expectations for our new firefighters who we hire, since we're going to have so much growth in the next 15 to 20 years. So that's something that I look forward to being able to work on as well.
I got a side question. You left the Davis Fire Department after being there for a number of years.
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years. You joined the Roseville Fire Department. What sort of guarantee do we have that you're not going to leave the Roseville Fire Department for something that you see as better?
Yeah, I absolutely understand why you would think that. This is my third department I worked in. I lived in Southern California, and I packed everything I had to have in a U-Haul truck. I left my friends and family and a whole other way of life behind, and came up here to Northern California. Luckily, I made new friends. I made a new life, and I walked away from that one too, to come here to Roseville. This is it for me. I'm not doing that again. I came here to be a captain. I came here for the fact that we're going to add 7 new stations in my career. I've put everything that I have into place for this department. I look to buy a house in town next year. I'm not going anywhere. It feels fantastic for me to be able to say that I'm done. I never have to take another test. I'm never going to another department. I've got 17 more years to give. Look at everything I've done in the last 6 months. I haven't done that to go somewhere else. I've done that to be here. And so I can assure you that I'm not going anywhere.
Tell us what customer service means to you.
Like I said, I remember Chief Brindisini's book, Customer Service in the Fire Service. That was like a new thing. Now everyone does that. So to me, it's going above and beyond what people expect us to do. They expect us to come to their house when there's a medical emergency or a fire. But what they don't expect is that we drive your car to the hospital for you instead of leaving it locked up in the parking lot. And if you have groceries in your trunk, we stop by your house and we put them in the fridge. I know that Engine 3 the other day had a guy that had a heart attack while he was mowing his lawn. They finished mowing the lawn after he got transported so that it wasn't half mowed. You could see that this guy was real meticulous and the lawn was like in pristine condition and it was half mowed. So they finished mowing it and they put it away. And they had a citizen in District 3 again where this lady needed help moving, and there was a medical emergency with one of the people who was helping her move. So the guys helped her finish moving. We do things here that are incredible. I can think of all kinds of other examples like that. And I'm actually looking forward, when I'm in the position of a captain, on doing what the other guys have been doing, which is try to outdo each other on what I do for our customers. So I know that it really is essential to our existence that we go above and beyond for this community. It's this community that's going to support us over the next 20 years as times get tight and people start looking at what we really do for them. Just coming to calls is not enough. We have to have the ability to have an impact in their lives in a positive way, whether it's in the grocery store, whether it's on the call, or what have you. So I know how important that is in this department. It's important to me personally. It's funny, we go on these calls, right, and you see all these recruitment videos, and you get to do all this awesome stuff, except none of that happens. What we go on is these mundane, routine calls, and you can get in a frame of mind where you feel like you're just not getting anything out of this, going the same call every day. But to me, I think if that's the mentality you have, you're missing out on the opportunity. you have the ability to have a positive impact on every person that you meet when you're in that uniform. People look up to us, and whether it's doing what I do, you know, if we transport a patient, I always tell that spouse or that loved one, don't worry, we'll take good care of them. And you can see the relief on their face when you do those little things. So maybe that's my 5th call of the night, and maybe I've been to thousands of calls like that. But if I take advantage of that opportunity to have a positive impact on that customer, then I get something back out of that too. So that's the way that I feel about customer service.
What would you do if you had let's say you're in District 3, and you know, you had the lawn that was meticulously cared of, and another call comes in, and you guys are in the middle of mowing that lawn, and you know, it's on the edge, you'd probably be another engine to it. How would you handle that?
Yeah, no doubt. We're gonna stop what we're doing, and we're gonna go take that run, and then we'll come back and finish mowing the lawn. It's not even an option to be out of service or anything like that, so.
A little follow-up with the customer service. You gave a couple examples of Engine 3. How about giving us an example of something you've done recently as far as customer service?
Yeah, you know, we had to get on the other day. We went to Costco for a medical emergency. It was an elderly couple. The man was 87 and the woman was 86, 87, something like that. So her husband was pretty sick, he had a GI problem. We took him to the hospital. We didn't have time to wait for her to get in the ambulance to go with him. She really wanted to go with him. I explained to her why we couldn't delay his transport to the hospital, and that I would drive her to the hospital. We do that all the time, no big deal, right? Except this lady could not for the life of her remember where her car was parked. She had no clue. And instead of getting, you know, frustrated or anything like that, it took maybe a half an hour, and we walked up and down every stall of that parking lot. And she felt terrible, and she was all discombobulated because her husband was separated from her. I just kept reassuring her, not to worry, we'll find your car, we'll get you to the hospital, we'll get you to your husband. And so about, I don't know how many people were on Costco on Saturday, 200 people saw me walking this little lady arm in arm around the parking lot, and we had the engine going up and down the stalls, and we finally found her vehicle, and so we drove her to the hospital. And why we do that all the time, I think why this one stands out is we don't always have an audience of 200 people watching us do that. We had people stop and ask us, hey, what are you doing? Hey, we're looking for this lady's car. We had security from Costco helping us. We had just citizens helping us. So I think that was a good example of how we can let more than just that one customer know the good things that we do. Huh?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, okay. Jamie, since your last interview 6 months ago, what have you done to prepare for the position? Well, the first thing I did after the test was I attended the fire command training that Sac Metro Fire put on for us. I also took ICS 400, and for the past 2 years I have been working on my bachelor's degree, and on December 17th I graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Emergency Services Management. Since the captain's test was over, I've been consistently doing role reversal at Station 7. That's given me the opportunity to get some experience in the captaincy. And it's also allowed me to work my way through my captain's task book, which I have about 80 to 90% complete, which I know will serve me well because talking to the last couple guys who have been promoted, they've been having a hard time getting through their task book with how much they have to do during the day. So I think it's helped me prepare to have that just about wrapped up. There's only a few things left to do that I can't do until I have the job, like employee evaluations and that sort of thing. I also have been more involved in this department than I've ever been before. You know, I continued working on the apparatus committee, which I've been a part of since I've been here. I did an update of the vehicle inventories, and I also am working on the spec committee. We're getting a new Type 4, we're getting new Type 1s. I joined the public relations committee. More specifically, I'm on the fire PIO group, and so that's allowed me the opportunity to get some press releases out on different incidents that we've responded to, public service announcements like you know, change your clock, change your battery, the announcement for the kids camp. So I've been involved in the PIO group. I also, like I said earlier, have done the coordinator role, which has really helped me fine tune my organization and planning skills, which I think will serve me well as a captain. I took over as the program coordinator for trench rescue. I'm working with Chief Bryla on doing the annual refresher for the department on trench rescue. That'll be coming up in May. I joined the professional standards committee, like I said before, we had our first meeting, and so I'll be able to participate in that as well. So, I've kept up on my training and my education. I've gotten some experience in the seat. I had a couple working fires as the acting captain. I worked my way through my task book. I've done everything that I can do to prepare myself in the last 6 months to be able to make this transition. And I've wasted no time, and I've done more than I've ever done. And the last thing I want to say that I've done in the last 6 months is I've been involved in this community. I'm one of the few people in this department that actually shows up for everything. I've done that the whole 5 years that I've been here, but I've especially done that in the last 8 months since I've lived here in Roseville. It's been easy for me. So I've gone to the splash fundraiser, I've been to the golf tournament, to the fill the boots, to the even came to the spaghetti sauce competition we had with the police department. I show up for stuff. I come to the badge ceremonies. I come to the retirement luncheon, and I think it's important that I do that. I set a good example as a leader in this department that it's not just about the 10 days that we're assigned to be here, but we got to look at the big picture as well, and we got to be involved in this department in our time off. Lastly, I'll say that I've served as the C-SHIP trustee for our union as well. That's allowed me to have a good understanding of the labor and management relationship here, how that works. It's something I really wasn't privy to. I know it existed, but I didn't really have a good grasp on it. So my involvement in the union, I think it will serve me well as a supervisor in the future. I also went to a conference on grievances, discipline, and arbitration. And even though I was there in the capacity of a union member, I realized that this is going to serve me well as a supervisor. If I ever had an employee come to me that had one of those kind of issues, I'd be able to guide them through that process. So I've been busy the last 6 months, and I've certainly done everything I can do to prepare for this position.
So you've shown that you're committed over the last 6 months, and it seems like you're almost gunning for the position. What sort of guarantee do we have that you're not going to, you get the position and you're not going to fall back into just doing the minimums to get by?
Yeah. That's easy for me. You're asking me what motivates me, and I'll tell you, like I said before, I left my friends and family and way of life behind to come up here to Northern California, and then I did that again. And I didn't do that to be mediocre. I didn't do that to come in on my 10 days a month and just barely get by. I want to make the most out of this experience that I can possibly have to make that worth it. I want to be able to say to my friends that ask me, whether it's friends from Southern California or the guys that I used to work with, what the heck are you doing, man? If I can say, hey, I'm a captain. Hey, I'm on our union. Hey, I have all these programs that I'm a part of. And I did MDA for the last 17 years. If I can stand on the podium on my retirement day and be able to say that I got the most out of this profession that I could possibly get, then that's worth it. And that's why you'll see me continue to be involved. Yeah, I've done more in the last 6 months than I've ever done. I was challenged to do that by Chief Harmon. He told me, you don't do enough for this department. And I didn't realize how true that was until I took on all these additional responsibilities I've taken on. And I will continue to be that type of captain, because I know that it's important not only to lead by example, but like I said, my personal motivation is I want to get the most out of this job that I can get. I want to do everything that I can do so that when I walk away and I say that I spent a third of my life working for the Roseville Fire Department, that it was worth the sacrifices that I made to be here.
That's all the questions I have. Do you guys have any more around there? No. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you. That concludes the interview, unless you have anything you'd like to add.
I'd just like to thank you guys very much for your time. I appreciate it very much. I truly hope I've been able to demonstrate to you that I'm the one who's worthy of appointment to this position, because I really am looking forward to being a captain in this department. Thank you.
And scene.
You threw me off so bad on that first question.
That's good though.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Christ, I forgot what